Hi students, welcome to online class. So now we are going to see about chapter 7 Python functions. So in the last video we have discussed about built-in functions. So now in this video we are going to discuss about mathematical functions. So what is mean by mathematical functions? We are going to work with some of the functions which are related to mathematical manner, like square root, like power function. So these functions are called mathematical functions. These functions will work with the math module. So for that we want to import math module, right? We are going to see some of the mathematical functions. In your book they have given you 3 mathematical functions. What are they means? Floor, ceil, and then square root, SQRT, right? So for that we want to import math. So this particular line should be included in all the program. Import math, right? First we discuss about floor function. What is mean by floor function? The floor function is used to return the largest number. At the same time it should be less than or equal to x. So that particular number should be the larger number and it should be less than or equal to x. So see the syntax, math.floor of x. So we are passing the variable x inside the parenthesis in the floor function, right? Now see the examples. So see here the line is included here, import math. Then x equal to 26.7. I have assigned 26.7 for the variable x. Then y is equal to minus 26.7. So using the print statement they have given math.floor of x. So now what is the value of x? 26.7. So when I use the floor function 26.7, when I round up this number it shows 27. But whether 27 is the smallest number or 26. So 26 is the smallest number. At the same time it is the largest number which is equal to x. So like that I have given the another printing statement, math.floor of y. What is the value of y? Minus 26.7. So when I round that number it shows minus 27. Whether minus 27 or minus 26, which is the largest number, at the same time smallest number equal to x. That is smallest one which is equal to x, that is less than or equal to x. So that is minus 27, right? I think you might have understood the floor function. Again I repeat, floor function means which is used to return the largest number, but it should be less than or equal to x, right? Now we can see this in a practical manner. So first of all we want to open the Python. So I have already stored all the programs. So local disk D, and then I have stored in a separate folder programs. So first floor function. So import math. See here this particular module should be imported in your program. 26.7 and minus 26.7. When I press F5, so it shows 26. So when I print x value is printed as 26 nearest. At the same time floor of y it shows 27, minus 27. See for example, if I does not include the math module, just I am changing it as comment line, hash symbol is used for comment, single line comment. So when I save this and then when I press F5 it shows error. See here, name math is not defined. Can you see this? It is shown in a red color. The errors will be displayed in a red color manner. The text will be in red color. So we have not yet defined math. So math module is not defined. If I change it into the command line is removed, and then when I save and then when I press F5 again, now it shows the output. Can you see the difference, students? Right. Now we are going to see the next function, ceil function. Ceil function is just opposite to floor function. Ceil function is just opposite to floor function. It is used to return the smallest number greater than or equal to x. Floor is used to return the largest number less than or equal to x. But ceil function, which is used to return the smallest number greater than or equal to x. So what is the syntax? Math.ceil of x. Math.ceil of x. Right, now see the example. I took the same value, same example. Import math x equal to 26.7. Y is equal to minus 26.7. So when I use the print statement, and then when I print math.ceil of x 26.7, so greater value, I should go with greater value. So when I round that, it shows 27. So whether 27 is greater or 26 is greater, 27 is greater. So the output shows 27. At the same time, when I go with the print math.ceil of y, so if I round off this number, y value minus 26.7, so it shows 27. Whether it shows to minus 27 or minus 26, which is the greater value? Minus 26 is the greater value. Right, now we can see this in a practical manner. So already I stored the file, ceil function. So the values are stored here. See here, import math x equal to 26.7, y equal to minus 26.7. If I use the ceil function, when I press F5, it shows 27 and minus 26. Right? I think you might have understood this ceil function. Right. Now we can see this. See the next function. Mathematical function, last mathematical function, SQRT. You know very well about SQRT. What is meant by SQRT? Square root. So we are going to return the square root of the given value. Whatever the value you pass within the parenthesis, whatever the variable or value you pass within the parenthesis, it is used to find out the square root. So at the same time, x must always be greater than 0. Why? We cannot take the square root for 0. It should be at least greater than 0. It may be 1, 2, 3. So it should be greater than 0 because there is no square root for 0. So that's what it is given here. So square root function. Let's see the example. So import math x equal to 30. Y is equal to 49. So when I use the print function math.square root of x, so what is the value of x? X value is 30. So when I take square root of x 30, 5.4772255750516661. So it is showing in a floating point manner, that is fixed point notation. So it contains a whole number and a decimal point, right? But when I take a y value, y is equal to 49, print math.sqrt of y. So when I take 49, square root of 49 is 7. So it is displayed as 7.0. Right, let's see in a practical manner. So when I go with the square root function sqrt, so I have given x equal to 30, y is equal to 49. So when I press F5, it shows 5.477. Yes, it is displayed in a floating point number. But what about 49? It shows 7.0. Right, we can take another value. Instead of 49, if I change to 9, now what will happen? What is the square root of 9? I think it is 3. Right? Yes, it shows 3.0. I think you have understood the square root function. Yes. With this, the mathematical functions are over. Built-in functions are also completed. Now we are going for the next topic, composition in functions. What is mean by composition in functions? Whenever a value which is returned by a function may be used as an argument for another function. See, when one particular function is returning a value, when one particular function is returning a value, that particular value is used by another function as an argument. So, that another function is taking the value as an argument for itself. So, this is called composition. Can you understand, students? Again I repeat. So, whenever a value is returned by a function, that particular value is used as an argument for another function. So, this is called composition. Right, let's take an example. If you are giving a numeric value, numeric value means any number. It may be 4, 3, 7, 100, 1000, like that, any value. It may be a value or it may be an expression. That value or expression is given as a input from the user. So the user is going to give the input. That input may be a numeric value or expression. Whenever we give the value or an expression as an input, we take the input string from the user by using the input function. So we already studied in 5th lesson. Whenever the user give the value or whenever the user give the string, the input is received from the user through the input function. Again I repeat So whenever we give the value or string or any expression, all the input are received by the Python program using the input function. So the input function is act as a intermediate between the user and the Python. So through the input function we are giving the value or expression or string. Now this input function is receiving the value and then we are applying the evaluate function to evaluate its value. So now input function is receiving the value and then this value is used by another function called evaluate function. So this process is called composition. Can you understand, students? Input function is receiving one value from the user. That particular value is used as an argument by evaluate function. So this is called composition. Right, let's take an example and then we can understand this. See here, so in the interactive mode itself they are showing the example instead of going with script mode. See here, n1 equal to evaluate. Inside that we are using the input function. Enter a number. So now when the user enter the number 234, 234 is received by input function and then that particular value is used by another function called evaluate and then that particular function is assigned to n1. So automatically 234 is first received by input function and it is used as an argument for evaluate function and then it is assigned to n1. Now what is the value of n1? So now n1 value is 234. So when I go with interactive mode programming, if I give n1, what is the value stored in n1? If I give n1 and then if I press enter key, it shows 234. So like that they have given another example. N2 is equal to evaluate. Inside that they are using input function. Enter an arithmetic expression. So they are going to get the arithmetic expression as a input. See here they are giving 12.0 plus 13.0 into 2. So now these values are assigned to input function and then it is taken as an argument by evaluate function, and then that particular value is evaluated and the result is stored in n2, right? So like the previous example, 234 is taken by input function and then it is stored in evaluate function. That value is assigned to n1. Same method the n2 is also done, right? Now let us see the example. So we are going for the interactive mode. So again I just open you and show you, ideally Python. So n1 is equal to evaluate, open parenthesis, input. So enter a number. So close parenthesis. So when I press enter key, see here it asks me the input, enter a number. So I am giving a value 234. After giving the value, I should press enter key. So now what happens means 234 is assigned to input function and then input function takes the value. The input function value is taken as an argument by evaluate function. And then the value 234 is assigned to n1. Now the interactive mode programming, that is Python interpreter, is displayed here. Now when I type n1, when I type n1, when I press enter key, it shows the value 234. So again I show you, when I press, wherever I press that particular, wherever I type, not press, wherever I type the variable n1, when I press enter key, it shows the result. Like that we can go for another example. n2 is equal to evaluate, input function. So enter the arithmetic expression. So enter the arithmetic expression. So 2 times I should close, because for one for evaluate, another one for input function, 2 parentheses. So when I press enter key, it asks me the input. So 12.0 plus 13.0 into 2. So when I press enter key, so the values are assigned 12 plus 13. What happens? 12 plus 13, it shows you, I think, 25. So 25.0, then I think it will not be done like that, because first multiplication will be done. So 13.0 into 2, I think 26.0. Then 26.0 plus 12.0, 38.0. So we want to use BODMAS, bracket of division, multiplication, addition, subtraction. We should not do addition straight away first. So which operator has higher priority? Multiplication has the higher priority. Then only addition process. So 13.0 into 2, 26.0. Then plus 12.0, it shows 38.0. So now you see, when I type n2, when I press enter key, now it shows 38.0. Right. I think you might have understood this in a practical manner. Right. Let's end the class. So thank you, students.